Championship game, which will be Sunday, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox after the win over Atlanta. A lot of guys put on an underdog mask. Well, do you have a perceived slight that you need to use to boost your effort and your intensity? This tweet from CBS Philly gives you a chance to have a cutout. Put your eyeballs in the underdog mask. Look back at that third grade teacher that said you would never accomplish anything and say, I did this because I was upset at you. I'm now trying harder at life because of what you said about me. Doug Peterson on if that's true, if the underdog thing makes a difference.
I don't care about what's written. It's kind of like, the underdog thing. I mean, our players don't pay much attention to that, and I'm kind of the same way.
Yes, they do.
Except for the dog mask.
We're blessed to be in this game. It's been a wild ride this season. We've had, so many things go on, so many guys step up, so many injuries. The guys who are injured or have done an amazing job of staying around the building and being a huge part of the heartbeat of this team. And that's sort of the DNA here.
This is another game that we got to go out there and win and go out there and execute, because that's what it comes down to. Who's going to execute the most and who's going to do their job, play in and play out, and making sure that, you just go out there and be who you are, and don't try to be nothing else. Don't try to make nobody else plays, but when them plays come to you, come out there and, make them.
I mean, we play for each other. We play for those 53 guys in the locker room each and every Sunday, and we don't want this thing to end. We're having too much fun right now. This is definitely the most fun that I've had since I've been here, since I really began playing football. So it's been a blast this entire season. Obviously, we've had a ton of injuries, and guys have rallied around those guys. But it's been an amazing year so far.
Let's get back out to Philadelphia, out in the cold, where James Palmer is outside of the Eagles facility. Aggressive play calling from Doug Peterson in that win over Atlanta. We saw back-to-back screens at one point, James. How's that influencing the team and how they feel?
Yeah, that aggressive play calling wasn't just against the Atlanta Falcons. We'll get to how he called that game in a second, but it's been how he's been aggressive with his play calling throughout this entire season. Zach Ertz told me after the Falcons game that he is the most unique and best play caller he's ever been around, and that unique word has been used around here quite a bit because of the style of play calling that Doug Peterson has. He talked about it today at length a couple of times, really saying it's either something you can do or you can't do, and obviously we've seen he can do it with the way that he adjusted it for Nick Foles and changed things during that bye week to have the play calling cater to the strengths of Nick Foles as opposed to the success they had with Carson Wentz. Shows you once again how his play calling and how unique it is, Patrick, has once again won them another game and got them another game closer to a Super Bowl appearance.
We'll see if it works against the Minnesota Vikings. James Palmer, live in Philadelphia. Thanks, man.
Steps into it. Pass is caught. Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it! Touchdown, Minnesota! ¡Qué increíble! Case Keenum has just taken the Minnesota Vikings to the NFC Championship game in a game none of us will soon forget.
So can you take historical significance from a walk-off touchdown? Well, here are the results of the last 10 seasons. Everybody who had a walk-off touchdown in the playoff lost. Lost. Mike Zimmer, Vikings. Let's talk about the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, we understand the magnitude of this football game, and, it's 3 days ago, so it's time to get on to Philadelphia and understand the things we have to do. I think our players are smart enough to understand what's going on.
This is what all you guys predicted back in the day, was a Foles versus Keenum NFC Championship. So good job to all you guys that predicted that.
To NFC Championship game, no. This is what our focus is on right now, the Philadelphia Eagles. And being professionals, you got to be able to make that switch. And our switch is you got to focus on the Philadelphia Eagles and getting the job done. That's all. You can't live in that moment no more. This is the next big moment. You never know what could happen. It could be another big play like that at the next game. But, you just got to live in the moment. The moment's now, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles.
When you have a night like that and it ends the way it does, it's such an emotional high that, we have to move on to the Philadelphia Eagles as quickly as possible. And, coming in, having a normal Monday and looking back at that second half and what put us in that situation to begin with, I think allowed us to do it fairly quickly.
Let's head out to Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Tom Pelissero is there. One of our teammates here on NFL Network. Got a pair of teammates, former teammates, facing off at quarterback coming up this weekend, Tom.
Case Keenum called Nick Foles one of his best friends, Patrick. He said that they have been speaking during this season when they're watching film on similar types of defenses. A lot of familiarity there. Probably not the prediction, though, that Keenum said it was for everybody else, with those two guys going back a couple of years ago with the Rams. Keenum praised the Eagles' defense, said that they are talented and disruptive against the run and the pass. And a situation worth monitoring from an injury perspective, Patrick. Wide receiver Adam Thielen did not participate in practice today. He took a hard shot to his lower back early in the third quarter of that game on Sunday against the Saints. Now, Thielen came back into the game. He finished. My understanding is the Vikings are not concerned about it right now. Thielen looked to be in good spirits, but certainly with somebody who is that much of a high-volume producer as he is for the Vikings, Patrick, worth keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah, they aren't in position to have that Diggs touchdown without Thielen's efforts on the drive before that. Tom Pelissero in Minnesota. Thanks, Tom. When we come back here on Championship Wednesday, the very latest on Tom Brady's throwing hand. What's the deal in New England? We'll be back on NFL Network.
I sent this email out, and we got double the calls this week.
Double? That's a lot of work.
Yeah. The guys are going to have to work the weekend.
I have a chess tournament this weekend, Mike. You knew that.